Not bad. Even in California, they are getting tired of union power. According to a new poll, 53% say unions have too much power when negotiating pay and benefits. Could that mean they'd be willing to put limits on union powers like Wisconsin did? Are you kidding? I don't think so. All rise. Judge Andrew Napolitano is here. Not a prayer, is my opinion.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, this is a state which now rivals the People's Republic of Massachusetts for being so overregulated with government regulations and government control. If the people of California feel this way, they have not manifested their feelings in their choice of elected representatives to run the state government.
If it went to 73 or 83%, I'd listen.
Well, it might be a different story. And then, of course, there's that obstacle of my former colleagues, the courts, yes, which have invalidated thus far, quite inappropriately in my view, the legislation in Wisconsin. I think the outcome's going to be different. I think the Supreme Court of Wisconsin will reinstate the law in Wisconsin. But right now, it's out. They petitioned the court to reinstate it during the pendency of the appeal. Yep. And late last night, the court said no. So I don't know if these are political decisions intended to influence the voters in Wisconsin. And I know we're supposed to be talking about California. But the law is out in California right now.
All right. I've got two more quick questions for you and we're going to let the judge go shortly, but two questions first. Monster Beverage, sued by the family of a 14-year-old girl who died. Parents say she drank 2 canisters of Monster energy drink in a 24-hour period. What do you think about this lawsuit?
Well, they say
it's negligence. They should have warned everybody drinking these drinks. There's a lot of caffeine in it.
Right. This is a classic wrongful death lawsuit, and it's a lawsuit against a corporation with a short track record in the public marketplace. This is not like suing General Motors because the brakes didn't work. I mean, this company hasn't been around that long. So a jury will decide whether there was too much caffeine in there or whether there was inadequate warnings. And it'll basically become a swearing match between experts. The plaintiffs will produce scientists who will say this is too much caffeine for a 14-year-old and there should have been warning. And Monster Beverage will produce scientists who will say this is a relatively harmless amount. There was something wrong with the girl. She had a precondition.
She did, actually. It goes to trial?
I think it probably will go to trial, yes.
But if they settled, if the company settled early, that would admission liability.
No. You can settle without admitting liability. You can settle because it's cheaper than litigating the case. But if they settle, there'll be no ultimate resolution here. And eventually we'll have to wait for somebody else to be injured before we know if the labeling is adequate.
It would invite more lawsuits if they settle. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
7 scientists in Italy convicted of manslaughter for not warning about a major earthquake. Now, what do you make of that?
I make of it that it was a witch hunt by the Italian government in an effort to blame on human beings a natural phenomenon, which is an earthquake. I mean, to incarcerate scientists because they failed to produce a natural occurrence like an earthquake or a hurricane will result in scientists never wanting to work in a capacity where they are asked to make these predictions for fear that if they're wrong, they'll go to jail.
Could it happen in America?
I don't think it would happen in America. I think there are mechanisms in place to prevent this kind of litigation. Now, if there had been an intentional misrepresentation so that there could be some financial gain, it's almost inconceivable how that could be, that would be a different story.
There were tremors in the area before the big quake that killed 308 people. There were tremors.
But a predictor is not a guarantor of his work. And the failure to predict accurately is hardly a crime. I mean, a crime implies, the baseline is, an intent to harm people. And I don't know how that could possibly be in an American court. The Italians obviously have a different standard and different standards for who they prosecute. Why are you laughing?
Because you never know what's going to happen in an American court now, do you?
Nor do you know what's going to happen in an Italian court.
You certainly do not. Judge Napolitano.
Nothing to do with this.
Thanks, Judge. Always
Pleasure.
Good.